Good morning, ladies and gents, and thank you for jumping on. I know some of you are coming on there, coming on as we are now. Hello, my name is Jason, and welcome to my presentation today. So, creating opportunities through building relationships and networking. Now, my aim is really not to teach you how to suck eggs, because obviously you're all networkers, or the majority of you are networkers on here. So welcome to that. But hopefully give you some sort of refreshers, maybe some hints and tips to really sort of maximise on your sort of networking activity, really. And I know at Network B2B that we're brilliant. They're brilliant here at doing that. So what I'll do, if it's okay with you, I will get started. So if I can share my screen, and hopefully you'll be able to see this, and then we can get going. Off we go. So, as I mentioned, obviously, it's about creating opportunities through networking, and that's let's face it, that's the main reason we go to networking. A little bit about who I am. Obviously, my name's Jason, as I've mentioned, but I would be nothing without my wonderful wife Tracy, and we run a couple of businesses together. She's my partner, my boss, everything else. Tracy's background's in sales and marketing, and my background's in corporate, obviously sales or business development. We do have 6 children, and that's the reason I've got no hair. And we currently have 2 grandchildren, and a third to be born, is due actually on Saturday, believe it or not. I'm a massive Spurs fan, so don't want to hear anything about last night. My wife's a Chelsea fan, so obviously the banter in our house is great. And as you can see, we absolutely love holidays. So a couple of pictures there of some of the kids and all the girls. I did mention we got 6 kids, but what I didn't mention is I've got 5 daughters. So I've sort of developed patience over the years, you could say. Okay, so a bit about my sort of business background. We started in our business journey in 2019, which I'll show you in a minute. And that was really with the utility warehouse. I'd been in the land of the employed since then. And 12 years ago, we started utility warehouse. But a lot of people told us that we needed to go networking, and that's when our networking journey started. And we started networking with an organisation called Business for Breakfast, and ended up buying a franchise. Had seven groups in the East Midlands area. And it's developed from there, really. And along the way, we've launched a few other businesses. We've launched our own networking business as well, so Connect Business Networking, of which we do have a few different groups. And because of the link to commercial utilities for Utility Warehouse, I've also launched commercial utility brokerage and hence Connect Business Training, because a lot of people were asking us, well, how do you network? As I've mentioned, this is our journey. So you can see there, we've been fortunate enough along the way, as you can see there, in 2018 to win a couple of awards for what we do as well, locally, and being finalists in some other awards as well. So with Connect, on sort of the business training side, we've been fortunate enough to sort of make friends with a guy called Stephen Thomas. Now, he's written these 3 books and I'm involved in these 3 books: Business Networking for Dummies, Instant Networking, which is a fabulous book, and Win the Room, he co-wrote with a friend of ours, Wes Linden. Now, I'm not getting paid anything for recommending any of these books. I truly believe they're awesome books, especially if you're a networker and you want to enhance what you do. So just a couple of recommendations there. So welcome. As I've mentioned, this is really just to help you understand the basics of successful networking. Definitely not to teach you guys how to suck eggs, because that's not what it's about. We're going to touch on the different types of networking events and what you can expect from those, to hopefully give you some tools, techniques and strategies which will allow you to develop a plan. Because we believe that a lot of people, or we know that a lot of people actually go along to networking events and they don't actually have a plan of why they do it. We're going to talk about your 45 or your 60-second pitch. Some people call it an elevator pitch. One-to-one meetings and how key they are, and really what to do after networking meetings. So let's just crack on. So throwing it back out there, what do you think most people, and I believe at the moment I can't actually see the audience. So what do you think are the benefits of networking? I'm going to try and swap screens here. I don't know if that'll be a mistake. So what do you think the benefits of networking are? So I forgot to mention this might be a bit of an interactive presentation. So if I just crack on. So really, to expand your contacts, I think you'll agree. Find new suppliers. Explore collaboration opportunities. I think that's really, really key. I think a lot of us don't realise the opportunities that are out there. Gain support from other businesses to get your name and brand out into the marketplace. I think that's key, especially if you're a new business. But the cherry on top, really, and let's face it, this is the most important one, is to bring in more business and make more money. What a lot of us forget, and I'm going to add to the slide, is about support as well, especially after let's face it, we've had a really tough year, going into a second year, and the support that you get from networking is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm sure you'll agree. So let's talk about the types of events that are out there. Now, obviously, when I created this presentation, it was a little while ago, and I have tweaked it slightly. Obviously, we've been used to going to face-to-face networking events, but what I've noticed through our networking events is this whole cohort of people, business owners and people networking, that have never actually done face-to-face networking meetings. They only know about online networking. So when you're looking at different types of events, it's really about picking the right one for you. And like we did, just give you an example. When we started networking in 2008, 9, or whenever it was, we went along to absolutely everything. You know, we dipped our toe in the water. We tried absolutely everything, just to find out really what was best for us. Now, you've got the different types of networking. So if we talk about the open networking, like the link for meetings, the chambers, the informal networking events, predominantly they're free. You can go along and pretty much just speak to people. Okay, and they're great. They're great to sharpen your teeth on. They're great events. You meet people, and you might be lucky to do some business there as well. And then you've got what we call the structured networking events. So we've all heard of BNIs. Obviously, Connect. I would say that your BOBs, your For Networking, your Women in Business. There's other events like obviously Network B2B, which is phenomenal, a phenomenal setup, and happy to be a member of. And those are what we call the structured networking events. Then you've got the, obviously, like I said, the more informal, the networking ones, which you simply turn up with lots of people, no real format. It's just speaking to people. There's loads of different platforms that are out there at the moment, especially online. The speed networking events, I've been along to a couple of those where they're fast, they're furious. You typically get between 30 seconds and a minute to speak. Again, you get the opportunity to speak to a lot of people, and obviously the structured meeting, which is the ones that I call referral networking meetings, where they're predominantly based on passing referrals. There's a structure, there's a member presentation involved, there's an activity, there's passing referrals, there's a one-to-one section or something similar. So we're true believers in networking being about looking for opportunities, and I'm sure you'll agree. But what a lot of people don't do is they turn up to the event. They've done all the prep, they've turned up to the event, they've done their 60 seconds, but they've not been brave enough to ask people for business. Okay. And again, I appreciate it's about building relationships, but at the end of the day, you are there for a reason. So being brave to ask is key. Working with others is absolutely key. And that's where the collaboration side is in. We're big believers in promoting and having those joint ventures with people, because you don't know what's going to come from going to a networking event. So you really have to be willing to work with others. It's not just about you turning up and it's not just about you guys. It really isn't. It's about the other people in the room. Giving referrals is absolutely key, and we'll touch on that a little bit later on. And being a full member of the group. What do I mean by that? Is by putting yourself forward there. Be that person who wants to help the group. Okay, be unselfish, if that makes sense. What if they've got an exec team or a leadership team, volunteer to be on the leadership team. Now, I know we're all busy people, and time is really important at the moment, because let's face it, we're homeschooling, we're doing so many other different things, and we're sat in front of a screen a lot these days as well. But the 90-minute members really don't have much credibility. What do I mean by 90-minute member? Well, if an event starts is an hour and a half long, and you turn up bang on and you leave bang on, then it's difficult to, it really is difficult to sort of generate or build relationships that way. Now, again, I know meetings online are slightly different, but you can still turn up early to a meeting. You can still build those relationships where the opportunity arises. So we're going to do a slight exercise now. I'm going to throw it back to you guys. As I said, this is a little bit more of an interactive presentation. So how do you find a new business or interest in your product and service currently? Just throwing it back to the room. I'll go back onto the page. So just give us some feedback on that, guys. Now, if you just post in the discussion part there, or the Q&A. So how do you find social media? That's a massive one, especially in the current climate. Yeah, I'd agree. Thanks for that, Philip. Come on, guys. What about you? How do you find business or interest in your product and service at the moment? So social media is obviously key. Word of mouth, huge, absolutely huge. I completely agree. LinkedIn, again, falls under the matter of social media. Google Ads, that's interesting, but it's not been very successful. Community groups. Oh, I should be writing some of these down. Brilliant. Blogging. Okay, I'd like to find out a little bit more about that, Chris. Using your networking events, making and cultivating relationships. Brilliant. Yeah, I'd love to have a conversation about the Google Ads thing and how that's worked, because I think that's something that other people have dabbled in and not find that successful. Clubhouse, now there's another conversation. I'm on there, but haven't really used it that successfully at the moment. It's how to monetize it for me. LinkedIn groups, absolutely brilliant. Okay, thank you for your feedback. So if you had to rate your current marketing strategy out of 10, what would it be? And let's face it, what would a 10 look like, guys? Let's throw that back to you again. So obviously, if it's Google Ads, then that would be a 1 for most people. An 8, brilliant. Thanks for sharing, Neil. Aha, 5, okay. Definite room for improvement there. 6, thanks, Alicia. Okay, got some 5s, some 6s, some 7s. Okay, fairly good ratings, to be fair. And again, what were the 10 like? Obviously, would that be phone ringing off the hook, more orders than you can handle? I'm assuming that's what a 10 would look like for most people. Brilliant. Okay. So how important is gaining business through word of mouth recommendation on a scale of 1 to 10 for you guys? 10, yeah, 11, 10. Absolutely, it is key, isn't it, guys? I'm sure you'd agree, which most of you in the chat has said there. So thanks for that. It's massive, isn't it? Word of mouth is absolutely key. We're good at what we do, aren't we? Yeah, we are. We're good at what we do, and if more people shout about it, then let's face it, we wouldn't need to do anything. It'd all be hunky dory. So, and I appreciate this question's different for everybody. But you'll see where I'm going with this as we go through. So what was an average value of a referral to your business? What does that look like to you? And again, you don't have to tell me what that is. So let's just say you invest £500 in your advertising and your marketing, whether that be Google Ads, whether that be adverts in a magazine, whether that be leaflets, whatever it is. Let's say you spend £500, we can call it per annum or per month, whatever it is. Now, what would you, let's call it per annum, what would you expect on, what sort of return on investment would you expect for that investment, guys? 250. Oh, this, no. Tenfold. Okay. Thanks for that, Alicia. Obviously, being a charity, definitely agree with that. At least 4 times back. Brilliant. Thanks for the feedback. So you'd expect at least 4 times return back on that, or at least some sort of return for your investment. But believe it or not, a lot of people spend money on advertising, especially in magazines, brochures, leaflets, knowing there's only a 0.1% return on that sort of medium. Okay, so with that in mind, if you said you were going to spend that sort of money on your networking activity, I knew you knew where I was going with this. It's obviously going to be slightly more than £500, or is an average of £500. I don't know how much you're getting charged for the groups that you're in. But let's face it, guys, the return you get from joining a referral networking group like Network B2B can be tenfold. I always say to people when I have a sit down and I'm talking to them about doing some networking training, is to really, because we don't have a plan. So why don't you break your plan down? If you know that it's going to be £35 or £38 plus VAT to join a networking group, you know how much it's going to cost you for the year, and you know what your average order value is, how many bits of business would you need to do from a group of, say, I don't know, 15 or 20 people for that return? Or like some people put 4 times or 10 times, would it be worth your time joining that group? And again, I appreciate it's not always just about generating business, but surely that bit's quite important. So this gentleman here is a guy called Rudyard Kitlin, and he said, I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what and why and when and how and where and who. Now, this really, I threw this in, really, this was something that we were taught many, many years ago about when you're asking questions, when you're asking those key questions of people. What, why, when, how, where, and who. Those are the questions you need to be asking people, really, when you're going into a one-to-one with them. And we'll touch on that a little bit in shortly. Now, just touching on some best practice. Now, I've got the top one there, dress for the room. Now, I was going to change this, but I left it in. Now, let's face it, during lockdown, I've actually had, believe it or not, guys, I've had the first shave in a year. I had actually had a grey beard before this morning. So, and predominantly had tracksuit bottoms. I think I've been out of tracksuit bottoms for best part of 6 or 7 months. But I've still been running networking meetings. I've still been online. I've still been networking. Obviously, what we call the Zoom suit, I've always had a shirt on. So with that in mind, I have dressed for the room because I've had a shirt on, because let's face it, we can only see this half of us. But I've been on networking meetings and people are actually wearing hoodies. Now, no disrespect, I appreciate they're working from home and we're getting used to that. But it'd be really interesting to find out your thoughts on that. Would you wear a hoodie to a business meeting? Perhaps not. So that's an interesting one. I think it's a little bit easier for ladies from a dress point of view. But how would you dress for a business meeting? And is networking a business meeting? I think it is. So arrive early. I've left this one in: business card, leaflets, pop details in the chat. Now, when we go into networking meetings, I always tell people to have a template, create a template, so you don't always have to type it in, so you can just copy and paste it in there nice and quickly and pop your details in the chat. Now, I appreciate not all the platforms are Zoom, but there is always an opportunity to put your details in the chat. So have that ready. That is literally your business card. Now, since I came onto this platform the last time, they've created the business card bit, which is phenomenal. So I went a little bit mad in the networking event, so I do apologise if I sent you a business card. Have a diary. Again, my job is not to teach you how to suck eggs, but we do have our diaries. A lot of us have them all on phones now. It's all linked to our calendars. Have your diary. If you can get hold of a delegate list, and Network B2B are great at that. They send out a delegate list sometimes before the meeting, sometimes at the end of the meeting, but they always send the list. Get the names of the people that you want to speak to, the people that you're going to have a key relationship or potentially have a key relationship with, or a joint venture. And I will harp on about this. It's a bit of a joke with me. about social media. It's massive. It's absolutely massive, guys. So shout about people that you've met. If you know somebody on this event, or you've connected with somebody, tag them in a post. Take a picture, tag them in a post, get it on LinkedIn, get it on Facebook. Do whatever you need to do to shout about it. It's not only promoting yourself, but you're helping to promote them as well. Okay, so let's touch on the 45 to 60-second intro. Now, again, Network B2B do phenomenal training on this. If you haven't partaken in that training, guys, jump on the training. I know they've got some, or just speak to Alec, or speak to one of the girls in the office and get booked onto one of the trainings. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's something that we preach about as well. So the core elements, as you can see here, to a successful, what we feel is a successful 45-second or 60-second intro, I like to call it an intro, are these 6 key points here. So what problems do you resolve or solve? Okay, who do you work with? Who are you? That's quite important. You need to tell people who you are. What is your product or service? Okay, why do you do it, and why should people come and talk to you? Okay, that's the real call to action. And who do you specifically, and bear that in mind, specifically, do you want to speak to at this current time, and who is your ideal client? I think I even made the mistake of saying anybody this morning when I did my 60-second pitch. Anybody gets nobody, guys. So be specific. Try and be as specific as you can. If you are looking to speak to homeowners, say I'm looking to speak to homeowners. If you're looking to speak to the managing director of ICI, say I'm looking to speak to the managing director of ICI. Now, there's a chance that the room that you're in, or the people that you do not know that person, but there's also a chance that they know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who can put you in touch with that person. So be specific, okay? It's your chance. It's your chance to tell people that your pain points and how you can solve their pain points. Okay. Obviously, this is a bit of a whistle-stop tour. I'm not going into too much detail because obviously this is usually a 3-hour training, so that would take a little bit longer. What I wanted to do is jump on meetings. This is the magic desk, guys. This is where the magic happens. Just pop a yes in the box there. Lots. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks, guys. I suppose the key thing is, what do you want from a one-to-one meeting? What do you want to get out of one-to-one? What is the purpose? Is it just to have a chat with somebody? Is it to find out about the other person? I think so. Some of the things that I would suggest that we don't do is not to prejudge or make assumptions. I heard a story, I've heard quite a few stories, but there's a story that Alex tells of a guy who used to go along to networking meetings, and apologies if he's on the meeting today. And he wore a fluorescent jacket. He was a painter and decorator. It was paint splattered jacket. It was an old GNER, which is the old rail company, but he'd scratched out the GNER and written his company name on there. And he used to attend the meetings. And you would assume, he drove an old Mondeo. It was an old banger. It was paint splattered. And you would assume that it's not the right client for you. And you probably justified in thinking that. But what a lot of people didn't know, that he was a scratch golfer. And for those who don't know what that means, it means he's a bloody good golfer. And he used to play with people with the likes of the head of BMW and some major players when he played along. And when you're a good golfer, other people want to play with you because it brings their level up. So he could put you in touch, and he's connected to a lot of really good people. But you got to make the mistake of not having a one-to-one with that person because you assumed that he wasn't the right target, your right target market. So this is why I'm saying never prejudge, because you just don't know what's going to come. I didn't coin this phrase, but big opportunities come from little conversations, guys. So always look for opportunities to collaborate with people. Always look for opportunities to collaborate with people. And if somebody asks for a one-to-one, why not? You know, you can make it a 15-minute one-to-one, you can make it a half an hour one-to-one, a 45-minute or an hour. That's yours. And with the advent of, if anybody uses Calendly, it's absolutely brilliant. You can break it down. You can pop your details in there. You can share your calendar. People can book one-to-ones with you. They are absolutely key. We use that, have done really successfully over the last 6-8 months to a year. Can they offer their product can offer you their product or service? And who might they know would be a good introduction for you? And that's a key question. That is a key question. I always ask people that question. I always ask people, so what would be a good referral for you? Why would you not ask that question? So if we look at the order of events, as I mentioned, research your networking events, you go along, you find the right sort of event for you and your business, you attend and try and talk to as many people as you can, and then you follow up. And there's two different ways of following up. There's active following up and there's passive following up, which we're going to touch on. So if you look on the passive following up, someone's already mentioned social media. Social media is key. It's a great way of contacting people, especially if you've been to an event where there's lots and lots and lots of people on the screen. I'm a big believer in the smaller events, the 15 to 20 people, the referral networking events, because I know for me, and my style is about building relationships, and I know that works and that's key. But some people go along to an event with 40, 50, 60 people on the screen. I mean, that's great. And if that works for you, then again, that's great. You can only have a minimum conversation with 2 or 3 people anyway at any event, even face to face. So, when there's lots of people on the screen, the only way to do that is obviously if you've got a list of people or you write their names down, you see them, and then contact them via social media, connect via the channels like LinkedIn, Insta and Facebook, etc. And if that works for you, then, it's a great way of following people up, saying, hi, nice to see you at such and such an event. It'd be great to have a one-to-one, great to find out a bit more about what you do. So do that, and it's a good idea as well as if you're going to a networking event. Do you remember I told you about the template? So in your template, why don't you put your LinkedIn, what I call handle, so your LinkedIn link in that as part of that template. So obviously your email address, your name, your number, your business name, and obviously your LinkedIn handle as well. So to get the most from your networking, obviously you have to attend. Okay, you have to attend. Now, at certain events like the one we're all in, most of us are, hopefully all of us are involved in, Network B2B. You can't always attend. It's a weekly meeting. Life gets in the way. I've mentioned we've got 5 daughters. There's a drama every single day in our house. So things happen, or business happens, things do get in the way. We call it life. So if you can't attend, why don't you have a sort of bank of 3 or 4 people, trusted contacts, friends, work colleagues that can attend in your place on short notice. So you can give them a call and say, look, if it's a day before, 2 days before, a week before, whatever, when the meetings are. Look, I can't make this meeting. I've got a really important appointment come up. Would you like to go and represent? Can you go along and represent in my place? If they're a business owner, it's great because they can promote their business and they can promote your business as well. So it's a double whammy. Again, I will keep going on about it. I'm not scared of going on of mentioning this. One-to-one meetings will widen your network and allow you to get to know more individuals. That is a no-brainer. Let people know. Promote the group. So let people know about the group. How many of us have invited a guest? Now I know obviously we've got a back end with the ladies in the office there at Network B2B, but guys, it's your group. Okay, it's a member-run group. So why do you promote the group? Do you get guests along? Do you give details to the ladies to give them a call? It is sort of our job as well to help grow the group. And referrals are key. It makes more money for the network, and ultimately it makes more money for you. Okay, I heard somebody say the other day that, why would I invite my clients along to a networking meeting? I'm already doing business with them. I think that's a little bit short-sighted. Obviously, it would help them grow their business, but it will also give you stature and credibility within the group as well, because then they would say, yeah, I've done business with that person. They're really great at what they do. And then they can refer their trusted contacts onto you as well. So some hints and tips. One of the most effective and efficient ways and simple ways of building trust is to bring value to a relationship. Me and my wife Tracy, we're big advocates in this. We want to do business with you first, so we will happily buy your product or service. Before we ask you, if you'd like to do business with ours. I'm putting some meat on the bones. I've got some skin in the game. So I'm not saying you'll be beholden to me. All we do is ask people to give us an opportunity to do what we do. And we'll happily do that. We've done business with lots and lots and lots of people. We bought their product or service, and they haven't always bought ours, and that's fine. Obviously it stings a bit when they don't give us the opportunity because we've done business with them, but we're not going to change. That's how we've grown our businesses, and it's worked really well. So be the first to pass that referral. Be the go-to person in your industry. Why wouldn't you? You're good at what you do, so be that person. Promote, shout about that fact. Listen to people 60 seconds or 45 seconds or whatever it is in your one-to-ones. Okay, look for that opportunity to serve them. Okay, as I mentioned before, it's the WIIF. What's in it? Sorry, T, what's in it for them, not what's in it for me. Okay? And again, this is so true, and we're so lucky that we've created the network that we have. But your most valuable asset is your network, and I'm sure you will agree with that. It really is. And again, I'm sure this is, you've heard this 1,000 times. It's not about the people in the room. Think who they might know that could benefit from you or others. One of the things that we've promoted within our groups. And it was a great tip that was given to me. It's not something that I created. Was in your groups or the people that who are the top 2 or 3 people that in that industry. So if 1, 2, 3 electricians, in my phone, I've put their name and then electrician. So if I'm speaking to somebody and for some reason the conversation gets around to, something's went out and I need an electrician, brilliant. I can just type electrician in my phone and I have 3 names to be able to refer to them. Okay. It's the same for the accountant. It's the same for the IFA, the same for the print or stationery guy. It's the same, or lady, sorry. Have that in your phone so you can straight away you can call upon those connections. It's about connecting other people. And I've mentioned this already. What's a good introduction for you? That is a key question to ask during a one-to-one. Why would you not ask that question? So, just going back slightly on this, when we ask about during a one-to-one, when we ask about for a good introduction, that is one of the key questions, and I'm sure you'll agree with that. But also, who's been to I had a one-to-one with people. Who's had a one-to-one with people, and it's been an hour long or whatever, however long it is, and that person has talked for, say, 45 minutes of that hour. I might have been one of those people. Is my sound working? I think it is. Can everybody hear me? Brilliant. Thanks for that, guys. So I throw it back to you. When you have a one-to-one, or you arrange a one-to-one with somebody, do you have an agenda? Or do you think that's a little bit too hardcore? I wouldn't put together an agenda. No? Why don't you create an agenda? So you can say, okay, so the agenda for today, I hope you don't mind, thanks for meeting me, or thanks for having a one-to-one. This is just a brief, it doesn't have to be like, like this is what we want to talk about, but it's literally say, look, basically, I'm going to talk for half an hour and you're going to talk for half an hour, and have a little structure of how you can help each other. Just to give people a really good idea or a plan of what you want to do with them during your one-to-one. It just gives it that little bit more structure. It shows people that you're really focused and you're really serious about helping them grow their business and growing yours. You're having a one-to-one for a reason. I've done it myself. I've had loads of one-to-ones with people, and at the end of it, there's been no real call to action. So have a call to action at the end as well. So it's been a great one-to-one. Thank you for that. Thanks for taking time out. So if I just sort of summarize how we're going to help each other moving forward. And I find that works really, really well. So that is really it. And as I said, it was a bit of a whistle-stop tour there. And I do a training where I go into a little bit more depth on each of those subjects. So I'm just reading some stuff in the chat. I like to have a general questions that will open the conversation up and enable follow-up questions. Brilliant, Gareth. I love that. Absolutely, totally agree. If I just scroll up a bit. If it's the first one-to-one, just want to find out about the business, and if there's a challenge they're facing, love that. That language is phenomenal. It's about, what challenges are you facing? We all, let's face it, we all hit bumps in the road. If we can speak to somebody as business owners and find out that they've had a challenge that, we might have gone through, we can help them with that, or vice versa. So thanks for sharing that, Alicia. If I just scroll up a bit, bear with me. I like to have questions in mind. LinkedIn stalk. Okay. Cheers for that, Martin. Always have question in mind, definitely. I like to listen to them first, then wait for them to ask about me. Good plan. The old cliche, isn't it? You've got two of these and one of these. Always have an agenda, but like Tony Roberts, let your prospect choose the presentation. Wow. Thanks for that, Greg. That is phenomenal. I'm going to steal that one. Chris, love it. Absolutely love it. I try to ask, what do you like from me? What would you like from me? And how do you think I could help you? Again, they're absolutely key. Some great tips, and thanks for sharing, guys. Networking is brilliant. Always an agenda. Make sure nothing is missed. A quick check on the website. Great. Do your research. Love that. I always do that. Always jump on LinkedIn, have a look at their profile, have a look at some of the conversations that they've had as well. So I'm sort of geared and I'm tasked. I've got some information about them beforehand, but I'll let them introduce that before I jump in. Oh, I noticed that you. If they haven't mentioned it, then I'll say, "I noticed that you do that," or "I noticed that you've worked with that person. How's that been for you?" That type of thing. When going to a meeting, don't see it as a selling opportunity. See it as a problem-solving conversation. That's a massive clap, Philip. Thank you. Sometimes it's just a chat. And informally helps just to see where. On one of my Calendly subjects, I've got it as a discovery call, because I literally don't know why some people on LinkedIn. I think I've got 6,500 contacts on LinkedIn, and some of them connect with me, and I look at their profile and I think I'm not sure why you want to connect with me, but it doesn't mean I don't have a one-to-one with them. You don't know what's going to come. Big opportunities come from little conversations, right? So you don't know what's going to come from that. And I've been proved right or wrong so many times when I've had a conversation with somebody and wow, it's turned into a cracking bit of business, or even a lifelong friend. So guys, you've been absolutely phenomenal, and thank you for your feedback. Thank you for interacting. It means a lot. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to, let's go to the last slide here. If you'd like to connect, obviously, I've got my LinkedIn on there. There's my number. There's my email address. Please feel free to take a screenshot, whatever. We'll jump on a call. We'll have a chat, and we can see how we can help each other grow each other's businesses. Thank you for listening. If you have been, enjoy the rest of the day. No doubt I'll see you all in some of the networking rooms or one of the tables or for a chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, and it's been brilliant. Thank you very much. Take care. Oh, stay safe. Thank you. Cheers, Greg. Cheers, guys. Appreciate it. It means a lot. See you all soon.